I'm Brenda Rykhoek, and my one-sentence testimony is because Jesus loves, I live. And I know that that is true, because without His unconditional love, His faithfulness, and His mercy that He showed toward me, I would not be here today to tell a story. Several years ago, I suffered a pretty deep depression. I was in that deep, dark pit, and I couldn't get out. And I had so much emotional pain, so much hurt from emotional rejection. The pain was simply unbearable, and I so wanted out. I just wanted out. And everything I was trying didn't work. So I made up my own coping skill, and I cut. And surprisingly, I liked it. So a few days later, I cut again. And then a few days later, and pretty soon those days became closer and closer together, and I was self-injuring every day. It had no longer become a coping skill, it was an addiction. I didn't really think that self-injury was a sin. I thought I was just hurting myself. I tried to stay in the Word because I knew it was the right thing to do, but sometimes I just couldn't comprehend what it said, and I couldn't concentrate enough to know what the Word said. But God grew me, and He grew me more and more in love with Him and into a relationship with Him. And one time He gave me Psalm 139, and it says that I am fearfully and wonderfully made. And in 1 Corinthians it says that I am His temple, that my body is His temple, and I need to treat my body as an honor to Him. I wasn't doing either one of those things. I was destroying my body. So I needed to stop what I was doing. So I gave my supplies away. It was 2008. And it hurt. It hurt really bad. Like I was giving part of myself away. And it didn't last. Soon I was cutting again. October of 2010, I did the same thing. I gave it away. Gave everything away. But there were so many triggers left. And there was emotional pain that had been uncovered through counseling sessions, and I still wasn't ready. And so it took a while, but I started self-injuring again. As God continued to grow me into a relationship with Him, He was talking to me in a quiet time, and it was in 2014, 8 years after I had started my cutting, and He told me, "Brenda, it is time. It's time." And that was the last cut I ever made. I had to trust Him. I had to surrender all to Him. And I had to have faith. Faith is not leaping into the darkness, but it is jumping into His magnificent light. And I try to live now in that light. And I look at my arms and I think, how could I have done this to myself? And then I think of Jesus, and I see Jesus in these scars. Because I know that Jesus, when He died on the cross, He gained scars for us. He bore our scars. He bore our sin. And He could have come back whole and clean and pure, but He didn't. He came back with scars. That made Him believable. That made Him real. I think of that cross, and I think of standing in the shadow of that cross where redemption occurred, and I'm free. In the shadow of the cross, I am free.